Well, hello there. You could be dealing with some very overwhelming thoughts right now, especially in regards to your own existence. Um, I was drawing with the Kim Kranz Archetypes cards, and one of the initiations came out. And if you don't know anything about this deck, the initiations are like the big life transitions, the big realizations. The one that came out is, and excuse me if I butcher this, is Anima Mundi. And this card is all about realizing our existence within this world. It talks of taking in everybody's role and realizing you have a role as well. I pulled a couple tarot cards just to see where we're at right now, and I got the Six of Swords in reverse with the word overwhelm, the Seven of Pentacles in reverse with the word anxiety, and the Eight of Pentacles upright with the word vocational attainment. So if you've been feeling like your current situation financially, especially like your job, your day to day, the way you're making your income is kind of pushing you into this energy of feeling overwhelmed and anxious, this message is definitely for you. We're going to pull some more cards here, but I do want to talk about this for a second. There's something to be learned here with these anxious thoughts. I think it is a matter of recognizing right now what your purpose is. I think you've been kind of grappling with that, and to have a purpose is to almost have a burden. Um, but I don't want you to take it as that completely. But it does feel like what you're doing right now in terms of how you're making money, it's no longer bringing you a sort of satisfaction that you maybe once had. Perhaps you've reached like almost the highest level you can reach at what you're doing on your day to day. And so you're kind of in this period right now of, you know, really trying to discover internally what it is that you want to do so that way you can bring it externally rather than just having this job that makes you money. The Anima Mundi card, I don't know if you can really get that visual, but there's just like a person right there in the center, and there's a bunch of things surrounding them, the different planet symbols and eyes, but they're there at the center trying to discover what's within them. So I think that maybe for some of you, there could be a lot of pressure surrounding certain ways of being. And perhaps you've been in this job for as long as you have because it provided a sense of security. Um, Give me one second. All right, sorry about that, you guys. The perspective might be slightly different. I had to go get a sibling from school, so. Anyways, I think just in general, right now, you are realizing that you are not satisfied with your current state. So if that message felt like it was for you, oh, there was one more thing I wanted to speak to with the Anima Mundi. This card is sort of similar to the World card in tarot. And if you know about tarot, you know that the world represents the ending of things and like cycles and really allowing things to come to a natural close. And so I think the more you turn inward right now and listen to yourself and listen to your body, listen to your intuition, that still small voice, you're realizing it's pushing you in a different direction. 1 on the timers, I said that. So if that message resonated, let's get into your tarot. Or more tarot, I guess, right? Let's get into your messages. Because I know it can be very intimidating to realize that there's something that's gotta change. especially when you're not satisfied with your current state of being. Like, that can be a really scary place to be. But no, you're not alone. Ooh! I never do that, but I almost shuffled those, like, backwards. You could be just, like, making the simplest mistakes at your job where you normally feel very confident. And not to say that you don't feel confident, but you could just be doing, like, the smallest, silliest mistakes where you're just like, I'm not fully here when I'm doing this. That's what that reminded me of. Okay. Let's pull you some advice, you guys. Oh, that one stayed. Okay. What advice do you have for this collective? That's a lot of cards. Wow, this Three of Swords really wants to come out, guys. That card kept hanging out by itself, so I'm going to pull that out. What advice do you have for this collective? I'm getting a message here right now that you need to slow down a bit. I think you are in this state where you're realizing where you're at with your job, where you're at with life right now. And it's kind of heartbreaking in a sense, because this Three of Swords is always an indication of some sort of heartbreak, right? And so it could be an actual romantic or even like a friendship heartbreak. I also want to say familial. Maybe there's something that happened in your family recently that was a bummer. But, oh, goodbye. Okay, the cards started blowing away. But yeah, I think that there's something that happened recently that was pretty disappointing for you. And it's been causing you a lot of internal conflict to the point where you're not feeling like super satisfied at home. The Nine of Pentacles came out in reverse. And Nine of Pentacles upright is all about feeling super satisfied with yourself, especially financially and especially like in your home life and the way you like take care of yourself. And so I think that this heartbreak has kind of been causing you to neglect like basic self-care needs and sort of just things that, you maybe once were very on top of, you kind of just have not cared near as much to take care of. Which is honestly, it's understandable. Like, you don't always have to be super on top of those things, but there is a message here of needing to slow down because your racing inner thoughts. Five of Swords upright is all about conflict. And anytime I get it in reverse, I take it as internal conflict and racing thoughts, being very hard on yourself. So, you guys, I really feel for you. Like, this is not an easy time, but like, you have to be willing to take care of yourself. That is the biggest message I'm getting here with this sort of transition in life, realizing you're not really satisfied with where you're at. You have to put in those little baby steps to, comfort yourself, even in the smallest ways. This is your message. Like, if you've been wondering if you should like invest in a new bedspread, or if you should, go get your hair done, or if you should take care of yourself in the smallest of ways, this is that green light. Take that bath tonight, binge watch that show you love. Like, do the things that fill you up rather than staying so in your head, because staying in your head is not getting you anywhere right now. Let's get some more cards. Can we clarify the Three of Swords? Ooh, yes, you guys. So there was some sort of ending here. The Death came out in reverse with the Eight of Cups in reverse. I think there was something where you were forced to walk away. Eight of Cups upright is all about choosing to walk away from something, even though maybe at one point it was very emotionally fulfilling. He had all these cups. but he chose to walk away. And when it comes out in reverse, I almost take that as an indication that you were forced to walk away. So whether someone broke up with you or, you had no other choice but to get out of that situation, it's now leaving you in this state of having a hard time letting it go. So this Three of Swords is really, it's really sitting with you right now. And I have to tell you, that is okay. It's okay to sit in that. It's okay to feel that. And don't make yourself feel any worse by, acknowledging that you're still holding on to it, because you have to take as long as you need to grieve something. The death of a relationship, the death of a friendship, the death of a situation. There is always space for you to take the time to heal from that. Okay? I will also say with that though, understand that healing is not a fill all and then it's over. And what I mean by that is there will be times where you'll start to feel better about the situation, and then it will hit you again like a wave. You always hear like grief is like waves, it comes in waves. That goes for any sort of death, not even just like a real death, but like a relationship death, a situationship death. That spilled out. I meant to say situation. This could have been a situationship. Just understand that if it feels like you're starting to get over it and then you get pulled back under that tide, that is normal. That's okay. And you have to do it on your own time and take it at your own pace, because that's the only way to heal. Okay, guys, let's clarify that Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, okay, so Nine of Pentacles in reverse was clarified by the Knight of Wands. So like I said, if you've had those inspired actions, if you've had those moments where you're like, oh, it'd be kind of like fun to go do this, like it'd be fun to go take that little dance class, or it'd be fun to go to the bookstore right now, or it'd be fun to, rearrange my apartment. Whatever it is, do those things, because those are the things that are going to get you back to your center. Those are the things that are going to get you out of your head. I really feel like being physical right now is especially a message, especially with the Aries moon coming up with a bunch of planets being in Aries. There's a huge, huge encouragement from the universe right now to go and do things. So if you've been feeling called to take some sort of like, class, like I said, or even just like, I want to say, even just like reaching out to a friend you haven't reached out to in a long time, like that kind of thing is you're being encouraged to do right now, especially to get back into your body. That Nine of Pentacles really wants you to be in like a safe place with where you live, especially your home life. It wants you to be in a safe place with your body. So the best way to do that, like I said, is getting yourself out of your head. I think I'm repeating myself. Okay, let's clarify the Five of Swords. Will you send it out? Excuse me. Oh my. Clarify the Five of Swords. Okay, perfect. Yes, okay. Six of Cups came out sideways. Just make sure. Oh, that was upright. And that was sideways. I'm going to take it as sideways. So right now, the internal conflict that you've been having with this Five of Swords in reverse, right, is your nostalgia about the situation. There's something to be said about whatever this ending was. And maybe it is your job too. Like it could be that you already have quit your job. Going back to that very initial message, right? But anyways, your advice here with that is to look at your nostalgic feelings from a different lens. So, ways to do that is if you start reminiscing, I'm going to give myself as an example, I'll be vulnerable here. I have been getting over an ex for a long time. Feels like way too long to be held up on an ex, but when I would start reminiscing about certain things about him, I would definitely feel all the good parts. And then when I would feel all the bad parts, I would be so angered, you know? And so shifting my perspective, I would kind of act as though my subconscious is, a friend. And then me, the part listening to my subconscious and all these thoughts was like an advice, a giver. So, what I mean by that is like these thoughts would come up. I'd be like, oh, I remember, how sweet it was when he um, did this thing, right? When he would compliment me. He was such a sweet talker, and that was something I loved about him. Um, but then my advice brain would be like, okay, he was a sweet talker, but, you know, sorry, this is really vulnerable. I don't normally do this. Um, he was a sweet talker, but did he follow through on his word? And that would be the part of me I would have to step into in order to, kind of ground myself. Sometimes we can get so lost in, the good parts of what we once had. And I think you kind of go back and forth because it's sideways. It feels like you're not feeling all the good stuff. You're not feeling all the bad stuff. You're kind of just like kind of going back and forth. And I was definitely in that state as well for a long time. So acknowledge that you have those feelings. Don't allow yourself to, avoid them, but also acknowledge that you don't have to focus on them all the time. When they come up, don't reject them. Just be like, okay, that was a thought, I just had, and I'm allowed to feel a certain way about it. But I'm also allowed to come back into my body, find some way to center yourself, whether that's meditating a little bit, doing some yoga, dancing to some music, like whatever you need to do to get back into your body is such a huge message, you guys, okay? Okay, I'm gonna just pull one more card because I feel like I want to end this on a good note. So, what's something fun coming your way, okay? What is something fun coming this collective's way? Can you clarify? I was hoping for something like that. Okay, guys, so we got the Seven of Pentacles upright this time. With the Hanged Man, don't worry, okay? And those were clarified by the Sun. Okay? Sorry, not me posing for my for my thumbnail. So, I think if you feel like you've been working really hard at finding this happiness, the sun almost flew away. I think if you've been working really hard to try and be like, oh, I just want to be happy, I just want to feel lighter, that is coming, but your message with that is to slow down, guys. Slow down. Seven of Pentacles is not a fast moving card, and the Hanged Man is literally about surrendering. It's about acknowledging that you're in the space you're in, and all you can do is take one little baby step at a time, especially in terms of those self-care things I was talking about. But if there's something else you've been wanting to build financially, like if you've been wanting to craft a new skill, take those little baby steps. Don't be so hard on yourself. Surrender to what this moment is and allow yourself to just relax, Staying up in your head is doing you no favors. And once you finally surrender to what this moment is, and you start taking those little tiny baby steps to take care of yourself and work towards something that actually makes you happy, boom, that happiness is going to come in like clockwork. Okay? All right, you guys. I feel for you so much. This was a very, endearing reading to me because I felt this way not too long ago. And I promise you that sun is around the corner and it's not something that needs to be earned. It is something that is rightfully yours. It is rightfully yours to be happy in your own body. So go ahead and claim it in whatever way that means to you. You could leave me a little message down below if you feel called to. Definitely not necessary though, but just know any good karma you bring to me does come back to you threefold. So I appreciate you for watching this far. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos. Okay, bye guys.